Hi everyone! So today we're going to go through an amazing reflective exercise to really go over the year that's been, the good, the bad. We've all had an absolutely crazy year, I'm sure, in every single way possible. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go through 10 questions that you can ask and really stretch yourself to answer to really go over the year that was, and then we're going to have a bonus question at the end, a bonus section. So get your pen and papers ready. What I really suggest doing is taking time, get into somewhere really nice, a room that you feel really comfortable in, maybe clothes that you feel really comfortable in. If you're into smells, get something smelling real good. Make sure you're not going to be interrupted. Turn off your notifications. Make sure no one barges in if possible. And take some time to really sit down with this video. Pause it after each question, write all the answers before you continue on to the next, or if you prefer to watch them all first, please do, and then go back over them all and answer them again. So the first question to really reflect over the year 2020 is: celebrate my top 10 achievements this year. So for some of you, you might be like, wow, okay, this year I actually got so much done, or I achieved so much. And then for others of you, you're just gonna be like, mine's gone blank. Can't even think of one achievement that I've had in 2020. So I want you to make sure that in all of these questions, that if your mind is going blank and you can't think of anything, those are the questions to really lean into and stretch your imagination, stretch your mind, and make sure that you answer it all. If there's like 10 things or 5 things, make sure you get to at least the 10 things or the 5 things, because it's those extra ones that are really going to make you feel like, wow, yeah, that did happen, or I did do that, or it's those things that are really going to push you to appreciate those moments as well. So 10 things that you can celebrate that you achieved this year. Now, this could be something, maybe you did your master's this year, maybe you graduated, maybe it could be that you learned how to bake something new, maybe you learned a new skill, you started an online course. Maybe it's something just within yourself. You're like, wow, I never knew that I could homeschool. Now I know that I can. I never knew that I'd work from home. Now I know that I can. I didn't realize that if I had a particular setup that I'd be out walking every day, but I have. Or it might not even be anything to do with that. It could just be I realized the importance of spending more time at home or with my family or on myself, or just journaling, or being an Epic Hearts Club. You can definitely put this down as one of the achievements of the year. Investing in yourself, investing in your growth, and investing in your future. So 10 things that you can achieve and celebrate from this year. Question number 2. Are you ready? What are 5 things at least that you learned this year? Now, we touched on some of these in the past question, but it could be something you've learned about yourself, you've learned about the world. Maybe because of everything that's been going on, maybe you started watching films or TV shows or videos, or listening to podcasts or audios, or reading books about a subject that maybe you never knew about before. You could have just learned something about yourself, learned something about your family, learned something about the people around you, learned something about pandemics and what happens in the world when there's a pandemic and how do they spread, learned about hygiene and how to clean your hands properly. Who knows what it is? Or it could have been something that you actually learned. Again, you could have started a course, you could have started a new job, could be a whole host of different things. So at least 5 things that you have learned this year. Question number 3. What were my 5 happiest / empowering moments? So over the whole of the year, what are 5 things that made me so happy or made me feel really empowered in the last year? Again, for some of you, that might be an event that happened, or it could be like something like some of you might have got married, you might have had a baby, you might have had a grandchild for the first time. Who knows what it is? It could have been, again, recognizing that, wow, I am someone who can work from home, or I can exercise from home if I really want to, or yeah, actually I'm able to do so much online that I didn't realize I could be doing, or could be anything. Or it could be you decided to take certain things more seriously or less seriously. Maybe you realize, like, wow, actually, yeah, I don't need to be going and just filling my mind and my life with all these different distractions and always just being busy, busy, busy. You know, it could have just been relaxing and just having time at home or gardening or whatever that was for you. But what are the 5 things at least that were the most happiest or empowering moments for you in 2020? Question number 4. What were the most challenging situations this year and how did I grow from them? So how did I grow from them is absolutely pivotal here. Of course, we've all had challenges this year. I mean, I have challenges every single year. This year isn't any like exceptional difference to any other year. There's always going to be challenges. But the thing is, every single challenge that we've ever had in our lives, whether it was as a baby learning how to talk, learning how to walk, learning how to ride a bike, learning how to navigate going to school, learning how to navigate our family situation. You know, there's so many different things that we've had that has challenged us, that we've grown from and we've learned from. It could be, you know, our first breakup, our first argument with our best friend, the first argument with our family. It could be all of these different things that could have been absolutely heartbreaking for us at the time, but we've all learned from them and we've all grown from them. So this year, what are 5 things that were really challenging for you? And really stretch yourself. What did I learn from them, or how did I grow from them? You know, from these things that have happened, maybe you lost someone, maybe yourself, you were very sick, maybe it was just like severe worry or overwhelm or anxiety, or you know, it could have been a host of different things that happened this year to you. It could be maybe you lost your job, maybe someone else you know lost their job. You know, there's a lot of different things that could have happened this year. So what were they? Like, acknowledge that they happened, but also how am I stronger because that happened? And really stretch yourself to make sure that you answer that second question, because it's very easy to stop on the first part of the question, but stretch yourself to answer the second part as well. Question number 5. What were my 5 biggest strengths and weaknesses this year? So over the whole year, think back to the start of the year, before everything kicked off till now. What are 5 of my biggest strengths and 5 of my biggest weaknesses from this year? And this is such a good question, because this really lets you acknowledge your strengths and your weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging your strengths, and equally there's nothing wrong with acknowledging your weaknesses. But it's actually really powerful. It puts you in a great space of perspective, and also, you know, you're able to, from that space of perspective, you're able to see, okay, what's my step forward from here? So, you know, what is it that I was really good at this year? What did I absolutely own this year? You know, what situations did I just kind of like take my stride? Maybe I freaked out at the start, but after a short while, I was able to just like say, no, I'm going and I'm owning this. So what were those moments that you really excelled this year? And also, what moments did you find really hard? What maybe could you have needed a bit more support or a bit more help, or maybe you know, you had the weakness in whatever area, but you were able to, you know, find a way to like learn more about that topic, or to ask for help, or to get it out there. Or maybe you didn't, maybe it's still an area of weakness for you. So what were those 5 areas of strength and 5 areas of weakness for you in 2020? Question number 6. We're halfway there. So question number 6. What are the greatest insights that I have gained over the past year? So over everything that has happened, what are the greatest insights that you have gained? What have you really learned from 2020? And there's no number on this, but it's really just, you know, putting out there and really stretching yourself. Like, how many insights can you think of, like, or are there some that are just really, really strong for you that you're like, wow, yeah, I actually really, really learned that? So what would those be for you? Question number 7. What little things did I enjoy the most during my day-to-day life? And day-to-day life this year for a lot of us was very different to day-to-day life of any other year. But what are the little things that happened in our day-to-day lives that we really, really enjoyed? And again, there's no number on this. It's just writing down as much as you can think of. And just really basking in those little day-to-day things. It's very easy for us to always focus on the big things, but like really thinking like, no, I really enjoyed my morning coffee. I really enjoyed, bringing my dog out for a walk. I really enjoyed waking my children up. I really enjoyed, getting into my pajamas at the end of the night and watching TV or whatever it was. What were those things for you? Maybe you journal. Maybe you do listen to audios or podcasts, or come onto Epic Arts Club and learn from our amazing coaches here. So what were those moments for you? Question number 8. How did I love, give, or contribute this year to myself and others? This is a really, really, really great question. Again, no number on this, but just really think about it and write down as much as you can. How did I love, give, or contribute to myself and to others this year? Often it's very easy for us to think about like, how did we help or contribute to others, and there's a lot of focus on that, but like, what did we really do for ourselves this year? And this year, more than any year, is a time for us to really be our own best friend and to have our own back, and really, really help ourselves and say, no, do you know what, there's a lot going on here. I need to just take a step back, or I need to be able to manage myself, my energetic frequency and levels here. So how did you do that for yourself? And also in a time where so much was going on, you might have felt like, wow, I didn't even have time to speak to people because there was just so much going on in my own world. So maybe you might think, I didn't really help or contribute to other people this year, but I'm sure if you think about it, you did. Absolutely. Could be something as small as like reaching out and sending a message to someone. Maybe you had a phone call over Zoom with someone. Maybe you contributed to a GoFundMe at some stage, whatever that was for you. So how did you give or contribute to someone else this year as well? Question number 9. What do I still want to release or let go of? What or who do I want to forgive? So it's coming up to the end of the year now. It's after Christmas, it's before New Year's. Who or what do I want to let go of and release? And who or what do I want to forgive? What do we want to just leave in 2020 and just move on and just let go of all that weight that's just hanging on us? Think about that and just really, really think about it. And this for some people might be an easy question. For some of you, it might be like a really tough question, but really, really give the time to think about that. What would you like to let go of or release? And who and what would you like to forgive and leave in 2020? Question 10, last question before the bonus round, is what am I most grateful for this year? What are you really appreciative of from the year 2020? I know for myself, there's been so much going on, so many big things health-wise and so many other wises from 2020, but it made me more grateful than ever because it really helped me to see how great life is when all these big things aren't happening. So for you, what are you really grateful for? What are you really appreciative of from 2020? And again, there's no number on this, but it's just as many things as you can think of. So that's the 10 questions. There is a bonus round. So this one is where I'm going to list out some headings and you're just going to mark the year out of 10 on each of them. There's no right or wrong. Don't think about it too much. Just being like, yeah, for this particular heading out of 10, what would I have been this year? Okay. And just see where you are with all of them. The first one is finance. So for 2020, out of 10, 10 being like best year ever for finance, 1 or 0 being like worst year ever. How was 2020 for your finance? The next one is personal growth. Out of 10, how was 2020? The next one is your health. Out of 10, how was 2020? Family. Out of 10, how was 2020 for you? What about relationships? How was your social life? Maybe you didn't meet people in person, but maybe now more than ever you've been meeting more people online. Maybe you haven't been. Maybe you just took yourself away from online world. How has 2020 been for your social life? 2 more. How has your attitude been in 2020 as a whole overall? And lastly, career. Out of 10, where would you sit your career for 2020? And just after you've answered all those questions, maybe just look and see, is there been like harmony? Have you found like, oh yeah, everyone's a 5, or all of them are a 5, or you know, there's been some that's been a 10, but definitely some that have been a 1 as well. Where do you kind of sit with all of that? Is there harmony, or is there some areas that are just doing really, really well, and others that you're like, no, this year is really tough for those areas? It's just a really great way to be able to, in a short couple of headings, couple of numbers, see how 2020 has been for you. So that's it for today for the reflection exercise. I will also be posting a video about questions for looking forward to 2021. So I'll see you in the next question, guys. Take care. Bye.